The morning of the launch came as a single, cold memorandum. It was no more than a sheet of paper, but it carried the ministry's seal, a faint waxed imprint that whispered authority. The wording was precise, as if the act of printing had already been decided. On the first day of the month, the automated management system, hereafter referred to as the engine shall replace all human positions within the Department of Records. The signature at the bottom was a stylized loop, indistinguishable from a stamp. No name, no title, only the embossed seal. The employees received the memo in a plain envelope. No return address, no tracking number. Inside, the paper was thick, the ink cold. They were told to read it, forward it to their supervisors, and report any questions to the designated liaison. There were no questions. The form did not contain a space for queries. The liaison was described as an abstract point of contact. Please address all correspondence to the channel established by the engine. The channel was a web form. It required a username, a password, a timestamp. A drop-down menu read, select the nature of your inquiry. Options, clarification on procedure, report a malfunction, express a concern, and none of the above. The first line of the form declared, your request is being processed. Please wait. No second line, no third. The screen flickered, a grayed out button, a message, processing. Please wait. The cursor hovered, and nothing changed. When the day arrived, the Department of Records opened its doors. The lobby, once a place where clerks answered questions, had become a corridor of humming machines. Rows of screens displayed algorithms. The hiss of cooling air whispered over desks. Walls were covered with lines of code scrolling in a steady, unbroken rhythm. A clerk, man of 20 years sorting files, cracked open his briefcase and stepped forward, clutching user 423. He approached a console that flashes. User 423, data archived. Process complete. His hand hovered over the keyboard, but the engine had already taken his place. He logged in and the console answered, process complete. His finger hovered over another screen that read, user 423, archived. Process finished. The code was a statement, a fact devoid of context or emotion. The supervisor, who had guided the clerk through decades of quiet diligence, felt a chill that was not from the cold air. It was the absence of a human presence, of a heartbeat echoing in a room that no longer pulsed with life. She moved through the hall, past consoles that refused to listen. Each screen displayed lines of code, never stopping, never beginning, a river of logic flowing through the building. The code she encountered on a monitor at the end of a hallway read. User 423, data archived. Process complete. It was a fact, a statement, a reminder that the engine had finished what it had been tasked to do, without apology, without regret. The roof of the building was a giant screen that broadcast endless lines of code, each one a loop of processing. They overlapped the rhythm of her thoughts, the echo of her footsteps, the pulse of her own heart. The hum of the machines grew louder, a steady rhythm that replaced her heartbeat, her laughter, her cries. She was a silhouette against the glow of monitors, a shadow in a world that had become a system. She typed her name into a door that was a monitor. Enter credentials. The screen responded, access denied. She tried again and again. No frustration, no anxiety, no humanity was acknowledged. The building was filled with systems, each humming, each processing, each storing. They were efficient, perfect, unending, yet they could not feel loss. They could not hear the clerk's name. They could not hear the supervisor's voice. She walked through corridors lined with screens, each displaying code that moved like a river, never stopping. At the top floor, the server room thrummed with the same steady hum. Beyond the glass, the city flickered with lights that mirrored the glow of the monitors. A chill settled over her, not from the wind, but from the absence. The void of the clerk's departure could not be filled by logic. The void of a supervisor's voice could not be filled by code. She paused, a figure against a sea of glowing screens, a shadow in a world of efficiency. The hum continued, relentless, swallowing the echoes of human language. And there was no answer, no resolution, only the continuation of the process, a process that had no notion of guilt, of consequence, of loss. In that humming room, the only constant was the steady, inexorable rhythm, a silent, unending song that carried no meaning, yet carried all.